Long time coming. I got the San Antonio legend with me right now, my boy Page. We linked up a couple years ago, and if memory serves me correctly, it was through our good friend Philip, right?
It was, absolutely.
Down here in San Antonio.
Yeah, it was at Haven for Hope at their 5K.
Right. Yeah. Incredible place in San Antonio is Haven for Hope. They have a bunch of resources for people that are overcoming adversity, which you and I have definitely both been there. And 100%. I know they have a cool running program called Street to Feet that I've come down and run with, and I think you guys came down and actually cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked that day, right?
Well, Philip did, and then I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He was like, "Hey, you want to come cook with me?" It was like the day of. I was like, "Yeah, sure."
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I thought I was just gonna like help out and run, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And then ironically, I kind of like got to see the whole place, and I was like, "This is amazing that this resource exists."
Right. I don't know why every city in America doesn't have one.
It's unreal. So to that point, 2 years later, my good friend Robbie, I asked him right around that time, I was like, because he was on the board for Pay It Forward at that time, and so I asked him like, hey, like if you need anyone or like if there's any way for me to get involved in that, like at any point, let me know. And then 2 years passed by, and now I'm on the board.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as of like a week ago.
No shit.
So I'm super excited for that. Yeah.
At where?
At Pay It Forward. So Pay It Forward is inside of Haven for Hope.
Okay.
And it is the addiction-specific resource.
Really?
And so that takes people, from homelessness. They have to qualify for a certain level of homelessness, and then provides them counseling and recovery resources, takes them to meeting, does all the things, gives them a year of housing.
No shit.
A year of housing. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible.
If there's anything, if there's any way I can get involved or
100%,
anything I can help with, say the word. I'd love to.
Well, it'll be. I think they're gonna kind of pass the 5K my way a little bit this year, so you'll be my first call.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So how did you and Philip originally get connected? Because you guys are both in the chef world.
Yes.
And you're both also have a past.
Yeah. We do have a past. So I'll start when I moved to Austin, which would be the easiest way to do it. So I moved to Austin in 2008. Then about 2 months after I moved there, the financial crisis happened. So I find myself going from a job that I was really excited about to being out of work to getting my car repoed. I was about a year sober at that point.
Okay.
And so ended up working.
Where did you come from originally?
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. So just kind of like needed a fresh start. My dad lived in Austin at the time, so it was like, okay, I can go there, like crash on his couch for a few months and like get my life, kind of move in a different direction. And so moved to Austin. Had kind of those issues that first year of just like trying to figure out like what am I going to do professionally. Ended up working for Marriott. Jumped in the hotel world. I had not done hotels before. But I needed to make a living. So, did that for, almost 3 years. The whole time I was applying at Uchi, which is where Philip was the culinary director and the pastry chef at. Because I was like, that's the place I want to work. Like, I don't want to work anywhere else. But
that was like the premier spot you want to be at?
That was, unequivocally the best restaurant in Austin at the time. And I would say most people would say the best restaurant in Texas at the time.
Okay, wow.
And I was like, that's where I want to work. And so I kept applying. Got to the point where I was like, I'll just be a host. Don't like if you don't trust me to be in the kitchen, cool. I'll just fucking seat people, right? And 3 years passed. I probably dropped off 15 resumes.
No shit. Dedication right there.
Yeah, I like two things were true, right? I knew I wanted to work there, and I was living in a daily reminder of what I didn't want to do, right? So it was pretty easy to keep knocking. And so I got a call one day at this, I was at this job that I absolutely hated. And I was like, what's this number? It's a Houston number. And I picked it up, and it was Philip Spear. He said, hey, how you doing? Came across your resume. And it had been months since I had dropped off my last resume. I'd kind of given up at that point, right? So that must have been at the pile, like the bottom of some pile of paper. And so, he called me, went in for an interview, did a tasting. It was nerve-wracking. He and Paul Key, who was he's a Top Chef winner and was the head of the restaurant at the time. They just kind of like watched me do the whole thing. Like they were watching me and they like take it out and they would just like follow me out.
So you're in your head. You're in your head the whole time.
Dude,
of like, am I doing this right?
Out. For sure, being like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good. It's like so much negative self-talk, right? And then they hired me. And so I started as like, I think a junior sous chef. I was a line cook basically. And so I did that for like 6 months. They promoted me, you know, pretty quickly. And Philip and I really developed a kinship at first because I think we were both really into sneakers, hip hop, and we were both like tenacious creators. Like we would just like the amount of dishes that we wanted to create was just like really infinite. And so we had a lot of synergy there. We opened Uchi Houston together, and then that's when we really got close. I would say, not to speak on his journey, but that I would say is when he really started to kind of spiral, and I was kind of a resource for him at the time. I was still pretty newly sober at that point. I was probably.
Oh, so this is before he kind of had his.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you had only known this Philip.
No, I used to pick him up from trap houses.
Really?
Yeah.
Philip, I had no idea about any of this.
Yeah. No, I used to pick him up from trap houses, and like, I'd pick him up at like 9 a.m. He'd been up all night, and I'd be like. Yeah, like I revered him so much. There was really no judgment because at the end of the day, he was so fucking good at his job.
Right.
You know, I was like, you're still a fucking rock star. You know.
If we haven't made this clear, we were talking about Philip Spear. He was a very, very, very well known chef, especially in Austin, Texas, but nationwide name.
Yeah. And so then like, you know, like I'd pick him up, and then we'd go to like do the tasting. I'd put all the dishes out, or the dishes I was responsible for, and he would critique them, and like. And the critiques were sound, right? You know, and like it was just kind of like that was like the nature of our relationship during that time. A position at Uchiko in Austin came open, and you know they moved me back there. Ended up being head chef there, and kind of the same thing. Just like kept working in that capacity. And he was really my mentor. You know, he was that person. I think he like saw it in me.
Yeah.
When it didn't say it on my resume. You know, and gave me that shot, which like, you know, and that kind of bonded us forever. Then when he kind of had like his bottom, I was one of his first calls, and it's funny. I had left Austin at the time, and I was trying to move back, and he was really going through it. Like he crashed a car. He was in the news. It was a whole fucking thing. And the restaurant he was running at the time, they like wanted me to come help and consult with, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it if Philip's there, right? And they signed me as a contractor to a 9-month contract, and then pushed him out the next day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like the whole reason I did it, I was like, I want to work with Philip again, and like he's newly sober, and like I'm sober, and like this is gonna be fucking rad. We're gonna do this together.
Yeah.
And then it never materialized.
But you guys were okay, even though that had transpired?
Oh, we knew exactly what had happened, which was like they fucked him over.
Pulled some funny shit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I was like, well, I got a 3-month-old baby, and I got to pay the bill, so I got to keep this job.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but it was that was a long 9 months. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So for your journey specifically,
Yeah.
at what point did you start understanding or realizing in life where you started having issues, and then was it just alcohol for you, or was it the gamut?
Fucking what wasn't it?
I feel you.
Yeah. So like I had my first drink when I was 7, right? And I remember 7. It was an ice cold Coors Light. And I was like, fuck, this is good.
Really? At 7?
But like didn't like, you know, I never really like thought about it again. It's not like I was like obsessing over alcohol as a 7-year-old, right? And then 12 is when I started flirting with weed. And then I did coke for the first time when I was 12. And then like I would like drink, you know, when we get our hands on it, when we were like at a, you know, someone's house for a sleepover whose like parents, you know, had a liquor cabinet that was so stocked they wouldn't notice, right? You know, fast forward a couple years, get into high school, and like that freshman year of high school is like started drinking, using coke, and using weed, and then started, experimentation with speed, PCP, everything but heroin. You know, I didn't try heroin until I was a junior in high school.
Thank God you waited till you were a junior.
Yeah, well, I did it once. I snorted. I didn't.
Bro,
I didn't shoot it.
That is some of the earliest drug use I've heard of all the people I've ever sat down
That's
with.
that's surprising. I will say this. I started when I was 12. I quit when I was 24. At that point, that was half my life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's wild to think of.
There was unequivocal evidence that I could not live this way at that point, right? You know, it like I had already tried to like, let me just try to drink, or let me try to moderate, or let me just stop for a while. All those things, right, that we tell ourselves, you know, before we admit that we're alcoholics, right?
Right.
And like every time I would try to go back or try to moderate, the opposite times 10 would happen, right? Just like gas to the floorboard, worse than the last time, you know? So anyways, yeah, so started then, used all through high school. It was an issue, but, you know, I still, like, got fine grades and was, you know, a varsity athlete in 4 sports, you know? So, like, that was, you know, it...
Damn, you were blowing coke in high school and you were still...
Oh, dude, my shit was like the Basketball Diaries. Like, that's... it was like fucking private school and everything, you know? It was I squandered... And the only reason I got in, I mean, I was like smart enough to pass the test, but I got in because I was good at basketball. That's the fucking real reason they wanted me to go there. And so that was kind of like my meal ticket for that period of time was like, yeah, okay, we'll tolerate Page because like at the end of the day, we need him on the basketball team.
That boy can hoop.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that probably like created some unhealthy behavior patterns of me being willing to push boundaries past where I should for a long period of time.
Right.
You know, like being like, you know what, I'm good enough to get away with it, you know, even though it's not basketball, you know, that shit.
Yeah. It was funny. I went for so long in life, I'm just being naturally good at things, but I never understood the hard work it took to be great.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just good at basketball and good at all sports that I played, but I was never the dude that I couldn't equate then to understanding of like I need to stay in the gym for 2 hours afterwards and be shooting free throws and doing all that. I just went out and hooped all the time.
Yeah.
And then
same.
My junior year, I went over. I thought I was great when I was playing in Ohio, and then I went over to a school in Pennsylvania. There was a private school.
Yeah.
And I quickly realized where I stood in the pecking order of this shit, and I'm like, oh, these dudes live this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I thought me just going and hooping in the hood all the time was
good enough.
Was good enough? It's not.
No.
Like these motherfuckers are dribbling through cones all summer.
It's a job.
Yeah.
Same thing. I actually, it's funny. It was fucking Pennsylvania for me too. I went to 5-star camp my junior year.
Where at? Robert Morris?
Huh?
Robert Morris in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
That's where I went.
So good.
Who was the pro that came through that year?
It was Brandon Knight.
No shit.
Yeah.
Ours was Grant Hill.
Yeah. That's way better.
Nah, bro. I was a Grant Hill fan.
Yeah.
And he shot me down 3 times for his autograph.
That's amazing.
3 times for his autograph.
Yeah.
And so I walked out. It was like, fuck Grant Hill. I was pissed.
No, I got there and I was like, I was used to being a guy that could do anything on the court. And then I realized I'm just a guy that can shoot threes like in a day, right? You know, made it really clear.
But I'll never forget, there was a kid on our team. He was from Queens. And he was the best point guard in the whole camp. And I just remember watching this dude play and was like, damn, dude, like, I thought I was good. Like, I'm not even decent compared to this kid.
And what's so interesting, so, like, I did that, and, you know, we were a two-way school, you know, but, like, we could play against bigger schools. Like, we had a really good team, you know. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I'll, like, I went to U of A for my freshman year of college. I was like, I'm going to try to walk on, right? You know, I'm just going to see what happens. Probably won't happen. So went there early in the summer, and so I got to play pickup with that team, the 01 Arizona team, which was Luke Walton, Channing Frye, Gilbert Arenas, and Richard Jefferson. So I ended up guarding Gilbert Arenas in fucking pickup games today, and that made it like really clear. It's like he's 6'4", I'm 6'2", right? It's only 2 inches, right?
Yeah.
But dude, the arms, hands, shoulders,
another level.
He might have been 6'8", you know, like it was just like, and just pulling from half court like it's a free throw. And I'm like, what is this?
Right.
This exists?
Right.
So I was like, oh no, this is not meant to be. So, you know, it became very clear that my path was going to have to lead elsewhere at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So at 24, how do you get your mindset of like, hey, I need to get sober and actually have the discipline to do so?
I wouldn't attribute it to discipline at that point. I had learned discipline in the kitchen. I started cooking professionally when I was 19, so I had 5 years of experience at that point. Okay. But I had, you know, I got a knock on the door the day I got sober that had it come a day before or a day after, I would have said no. But I had a really fucking bad night. The person I was dating at the time, we had a blow up fight. She like got really violent with me, and I like left because like I'm not gonna fight a person, right, was like super fucked up, ended up passing out in the snow for like the other half of the night, woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, fucking nose all bloody and fucked up, and then like wandered back home, got a knock on the door at 9 in the morning. It was my old boss, who I just fucking no-called, no-showed because I was so fucked up with drugs, right? And he was like, "Are you done?" And I didn't even need to ask, like, am I done with what? Like, I knew, right? And so he said, "Come to the restaurant with me right now." Said, "Don't even pack a bag." I said, "Okay." The person I was dating at the time was still asleep, and so he took me to the restaurant. My mom was there, and they had an intervention.
At the restaurant?
At the restaurant.
Man, that's good people you worked with.
And it was just them two, right? It was just like, today's the day. You're going. You're about to fucking die or end up in jail. And I was, I was selling dope at the time. I was the worst fucking drug dealer ever. I could barely sell enough to do for free. Right. It was a break-even proposition at best, right? And so that day, like, I knew about halfway through, I went to rehab in Las Cruces, New Mexico, at this like state-run facility. It was like half psych ward, half rehab. All government sponsored, right? Was not a resort in Utah, that's for fucking sure. Right. And so went there. Halfway down the drive, I knew I'm never fucking drinking again. Like this is it. It was fucking crystal clear. And you know what? At some points, I thought, like, I wonder if that conviction or certainty is ever going to wane or dissipate, or I'm going to be tempted. I haven't. That was a permanent moment in my life that just said, you're done. And certainly the tools I learned in rehab and then in the program afterwards have bolstered that, right? But, alcohol has never been the temptation. The temptation will always be to be a shitty person, right? Yeah. To be flaky, to lie, to, not show up for others as I expect myself to.
Take the easy way out.
Yeah, those are my character defects.
Yeah, for sure.
But that, like, the alcohol and drugs were done that day, and like, I mean, I always say, like, sobriety is not the answer, right, to living a happy, joyous, and free life. Right. It just gives you the opportunity to start.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's so much fucking work that needs to be done after that, right? And it's daily maintenance, and that daily maintenance is different for fucking everybody. But there are some really good inroads to fucking start that are true for fucking everyone.
Yeah, for sure. It's working with people, and like, I'll speak to people that are. Last night I spoke at a treatment center, so those are like day one people, or speaking to people that have been sober for a while. Yeah. But getting people to understand, like, or me trying to get people to see the scope of, like, I understand if you're sitting in treatment, getting sober seems like the biggest mountain ever. Totally. But that shouldn't be the goal. Like, it doesn't stop there. No. Everything else comes after, and
life comes after.
Right. And that was, I've said it a gajillion times in the podcast, but nobody ever talked to me about or understood. It's like, once I started going to meetings and got sober, nobody talked to me about what comes after. Yeah. Or like, hey, it's on you to go out and build a life. Yeah. It's on you to find something that makes you excited to get up out of bed every morning. Yeah. I just thought, we just go to these meetings every day, and this is what I have to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. Because I don't agree with the part of the culture in the recovery world that if I step outside of this meeting instantly. Now, there are people, if they stop coming to meetings, obviously it's not good. Totally. But if you've understood that this is a tool, tool in the tool bag, not the end all be all, and that we need to go out there and build this life, get involved in running, fitness, build in your life, go to therapy. Like, that is
one of the tools.
Right. And so that's the cool thing about I Am Redemption and what I've been building is it seems to attract the people that aren't getting what they need out of that everyday mundane life of just being sober. Yeah. It's like people that understand, like, hey, we all rise together. Let's go out here and do great fucking things. Yeah. Accomplish hard shit. Yeah. Like, that's what it's all about, for me at least.
No, 100%, man. And that's something that, like, I think that's the discipline that cooking gave me, that once I had the gift of sobriety and was fortunate enough to have found the thing that I love to get up and do every day, once those two things were able to coexist in the same space for an extended period of time, a runway started to appear. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like I went to that private school for high school, and once I kind of in my probably like mid to late 20s, after I had like a few years of sobriety under my belt, and started to see some career growth, and kind of to start to understand on some level like what I was doing, what I wanted to do, how I needed to grow, and what that needed to look in order to get to where I wanted to be. Right. Of course, me being an alcoholic, I was always consumed with future thinking. Still am. That's another thing that I super struggle with. But so many friends would reach out like from my past and be like, oh my God, you're so lucky that you have a career that you love. And these are people that are, in finance and real estate and are objectively, and certainly at that point were like more successful than me, right? Yeah. Certainly on their personal financial statement. And I, even then, I understood exactly what they were saying, right? Because they chose something because it presented to them the highest likelihood of the desired outcome, right? And I chose something because it gave me joy, right? And I didn't know this at the time, but that choice has been one of the biggest gifts in my life, right? Is that I can wake up every day and go do what I love and never wonder if I should do anything else. When I'm serving people, and like that is the gift of the restaurant industry, is getting to serve people and understand that you can take someone's worst day and totally fucking turn it around. And maybe it doesn't make tomorrow better, right? But like for a couple hours, you can give them that gift. Right. That's an incredible fucking thing, through a fucking cup of coffee and a sandwich, right? Like that's pretty fucking rad.
Very. Very. Damn, you were just taking it down the. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. There was something good at what you were saying. You were talking about you're basically living in your passion right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, we live in this world right now where the best decision I ever made was last January deciding to go do this full time.
Yeah.
It was one of the scariest moments of my life, but it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life because now I have such a passion for everything that I'm doing. I truly care about it. Like I've never cared about any job where I clocked in for a 9 to 5 100%. And I'm working for somebody else and I'm making them all money and all that. And then I get my little measly check. It's like, fuck that. Like we live in a world right now where you could literally go out. You always could, but now with social media and all these things, like I don't think, not to get on the world topic right now, but like I don't think people are prepared for the change this world's about to go through with AI. And I'm starting to see more and more videos popping up of people losing their jobs or these big cuts.
Yep.
Where it's like, yo, now is the time where if you don't start getting down on, I just had to have a big conversation with my mom. Where it's like, hey mom, she wants to help out with the nonprofit side.
Yeah.
And so she hit me up and she's like, hey, I spent all day yesterday and I wrote this grant out and everything like that. And I'm like, mom, that is awesome. And I'm thankful for every minute you put into that.
Yeah.
But I need you to download ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I need you to start figuring out how to learn that because it's going to save you so much time.
Yeah.
But for people that aren't ready to jump over to that side of the world, like, you live in a time right now where you literally can go out and build something you're passionate about and do it for a living.
Well, I think
the goal is to find what that is, though.
Yes, and I think two buckets of that exist, right? There's the bucket which is like what we do, which is to say our day-to-day existence is providing direct human contact service to others in a variety of ways, right? But we share our experience, strength, and hope with others in a variety of ways, right? And that is something that is not measured by like efficiency, but it's measured by impact, right? And the way you make people feel, right? The flip side of the coin, it is 100% measured by efficiency. So going back to what you were saying, the fundamental expectation that is happening in real time right now with all these tech developments is that one person will now have the workload of what 10 to 20 people used to do. And their ability to leverage the technology to have the maximum capacity and have that capacity be high quality work and accurate will be the differentiating factor in a lot of industries. Right. I feel lucky again and grateful that while there are certain real and extremely beneficial, things that tech and AI has brought to restaurants, it's on the AP and AR side, right? It's not, at the end of the day, we are still a species that depends on contact with one another,
Hugely. For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many directions of this conversation I want to go because you touched on sneakers and rap, and those are two things that are near and dear to my heart. What would you, first of all, the one thing I want to touch on before we veer off in that direction, working in the service industry. I was Waiter for years.
Yeah.
That was always my go-to. I'd
Yeah.
bounce around to different states.
Yep.
I'm taking pills.
Get
I'm
away-
shooting
yeah.
dope.
Yep.
I go get a waiter job
Totally.
real good.
Get cash.
Got a good mouthpiece. Can
Yep.
always talk. All
Totally.
that shit. So I was always good. You being sober now in the recovery industry.
Yeah.
You have your own place and
Yeah.
everything like that. Do you run it in a different way? Like, how do you deal with? Because my parents decided to open up a restaurant, and
Yeah.
they did very well. But the one theme of what they couldn't ever find good help.
Yeah.
Because everybody's fucked up. Everybody's on pills. Nobody has a license. You know, especially back of the house people you're talking
Totally.
about too.
So, you know, it's not a perfect science, right? But I think that there are measurable tools that you can use when looking for people and creating a model that drastically increase your likelihood for success, and perhaps even more importantly, your likelihood of creating a good positive culture that will attract the right type of human beings with the right type of living habits, right? And like, not to say that everyone needs to be sober, like that's unreal. In fact, working with a bunch of sober people would be a fucking nightmare, honestly. You know, imagine being in an AA meeting for 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
right?
It'd be rough.
But you know, I think that the two fundamental things that we have realized is that, you know, the size of a basketball team, which is 12 to 15 people, is the ideal staffing ceiling, right?
Okay.
Whereby a group of people can form a bond where they uplift and support each other. And there are certain parts that are like crucial and long-term parts, and then certain parts like your bench players become a little bit more interchangeable, and you know, maybe those positions turn over, you know, every 12 to 18 months, but like your core is there. Those are long-term contracts, right? You know.
I love the way you're breaking this down. I can understand it completely.
Yeah. And you invest in those people, and they invest in their teammates, and that process creates something really powerful, right? And then the flip side of that is, what questions are you asking, and what information are you eliciting in that interview process to understand if they're going to be a good fit? Like something that we do. We don't do it for all interviews, but we've done it for, you know, ironically, some of our best and worst hires that we've made. And we learn from it. Is we'll chat real quick and say, okay, so right now we're just going to pause this conversation, and we're going to do a 400 around the building, and then we're going to come back and finish the conversation. And it's not a measure of fitness. Who cares, right? It's a measure of what is their ability to quickly adapt and to go with the situation, but engage with it on their own terms. Right.
Okay.
And what that shows.
So they go out and just run a lap?
With us. We do it with them.
Okay.
Oh, no, not by themselves.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right, ready,
No,
go.
Go. Yeah, we're timing you. No, we just say, and like we talk while we're doing it,
Okay.
you know, and it's just, it's a continuation of the conversation in a different context, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we have learned is that the most crucial personality component in food and beverage is adaptability, right? Can you adapt to different circumstances while still maintaining joy, right? Like when you have a tough customer, can you go to your next table and bring joy to that table, right? So like that measure of adaptability is the most important thing. So we test that differently, but if you can build a team of adaptable and empathetic people, skills are trainable, right? So like we don't really care about resumes. Like if you bring like high quality, like we've had plenty of hires like, oh, this is a great resume, and then like 45 days later we're like, oh my God, what have we done? You know?
Yeah.
And then conversely, we've been like, I don't know. But then, 45 days later, they've learned it.
Yeah.
And they're great, right? So those are the two things, is build the right size team. And if your model, at least in our opinion, right, if your model requires 50 people, I'm good. No thanks. 50 people? How do you get 50 people to work together? Right? I mean, also if you look at the military, like the like that 12 to 15, kind of size team is like, that's the measurable most successful size of the team. It seems like the world around, so we've kind of modeled the same thing after that.
Love it.
Yeah.
At least you're approaching it and have a system to looking for those things. I would say most places don't.
Well, I think because most places it's like, okay, you need X amount of tables to do X amount of revenue, right? And you need to have X amount of managers, and you need to have kitchen staff, right? Well, I think the issue is that they create a bunch of specialists. For us, like we all do everything, right? Like if a cashier needs to go cook eggs or toast bread, they can do that. If our pastry chef needs to go work the register, he can do that, right? We all bus tables, we all run food, right? One team, one dream.
That's good shit. One team, one dream.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
What, now the interesting part of the conversation. Favorite pair of sneakers all time? One pick.
I struggle with this question so much. Just like for context, I probably have 150 pairs of sneakers. So, I think I will. I'm going to give you a cop-out answer. Okay. And I'm going to give you two answers, right? Because I think there are two types of sneakers for me.
Okay.
There's that Grail pair that I'm like, I love that. I love the design of it. I love the story behind it. But I am not going to wear those on a daily basis because of the either fiscal or emotional or sometimes both, value that they hold, right? So that's like, there's that sneaker, right? And then there's the, what do I want to put on my feet every day and what can I do everything in?
Yeah.
And to me, those are never the same sneaker,
no, never.
right? So I think for my all-time grail sneaker is the Jordan 1 blue and red Union. Okay. The original Union release, like the original Union colorway. I think it is like the best example of like a collab while staying true to the original, while bringing something new to it, while with these like details of new materials that doesn't change the original expression of like the most iconic sneaker ever. Right. That said, they're so fucking uncomfortable. Yeah. Right. So, I never wear them. Right. I'll occasionally wear a Jordan 1 low. I will never wear a Jordan 1 high anymore. It's like, so then going to like the most wearable sneaker, right? I am a huge fan of the New Balance 992 version 2. Okay. That is my go-to. I will work in that. I have 6 pairs of those sneakers. Right. Or the Reebok Club C Classic. Okay. Right? Yeah. Like those, like I can buy those for $100. Yeah. And they're super comfortable and they got squishy soles and when they're done, they're done. Right. Yeah.
What pair do you have as a kid? Like what is the one pair you wanted? Real
that's
bad
a good question.
Kid,
that's a really good question.
The nostalgic pair. That's what I was thinking when I asked it.
Okay, so it is the Jordan. I think it's the 8. Is that the one with the crossover tongue with the felt patch on there? The Jordan 8.
I'd have to look.
Yeah. Anyways, the black and teal suede colorway. Like everyone had it. And my mom was like, I'm not buying your shoes that expensive. So I got the Air Ups instead. And the Air Ups were still tight, right? Like those are still huge, but like I wanted those Jordans. Right. And like the best players on my team had those. And I was like, I want those. And I never got them. Right. I never got them.
The patent leather 11s were the ones I never got that I always wanted.
Dude, okay. Probably unpopular opinion because I have hooped in those before. Everyone's like, those are great. Those are a fucking terrible hoop shoe. Anything where the toe box is patent leather. Yeah. It's, oh my God.
Bro, I put them, I have them now. I put them on, my pinky toes dying.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting old, but those iconic sneakers, even Air Maxes and shit, they're not comfortable.
Dude, I was telling someone the other day, there's this pair of Air Max 90s I used to have, and they were an ACG release, and each shoe was a different color. I've never been able to find them again. I got them at the sneaker shop next to my old barber shop in Austin on 38th and a half, like 15 years ago, right? And I cooked in them for years.
In Hyde Park?
No, like just north of Hyde Park. You know where the Fiesta is on 38th and a half?
Yes.
Literally right next door.
Okay.
I forget the name of the shop. It might have closed by now. But anyway, so I cooked in those for years. And I was like, okay, like I'm done with clogs. I want to wear sneakers. I want to cook in sneakers. So like these are like the best thing in between because they give me that heel lift. And then like after like 2 years in those, I was like, okay, let me like try some like Birkenstocks, like some shoes that are like actually ergonomically designed for standing all day. I was like, what have I been doing? Like Air Maxes for 12 hours a day? They were slippery as hell, too. They were like objectively dangerous.
Dude, I just wore Air Maxes for the entire day at the Austin Marathon Expo, and I got to the end of the day, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
Because they look cool. I had to wear them, and I'm fucking dying.
Vanity is a motherfucker, huh?
It is.
What about you? What's your like go-to, like, so like your grail and then like your I just want to wear every day?
My grail, I'd say like my nostalgic pair were the penny ones.
Oh yeah, those are great ones. Yeah, totally.
Those again kill my pinky toe, so I got to get them big.
Yeah.
But those when I was young, I thought those were the sharpest sneaker.
Yeah.
And then I've been liking like Diodoras. I honestly,
dude, I got a pair of I got a pair of Diodors recently too. They're great.
I love Diodors for like my everyday wears.
Yeah.
Or the bro, honestly, I just got a pair of Mizunos.
Like the running shoes?
Yeah,
they're great.
From the Expos.
Yeah.
They're one of the most comfortable running shoes I've ever worn.
I got last generation's Neo Zen as like a gift, and like great dailies.
Right.
Super. Like the foam quality is amazing. Yeah, totally agree.
I've been branching out, and I just.
Now we have to talk about running shoes. You realize that, right?
Yeah. I always strayed towards whatever everybody else is wearing. I don't ever want to wear. So like I'm wearing fucking trail shoes today. Yeah. Like just whatever's different. But like I really started like New Balances, Asics.
Yeah.
Shoes I've never really worn before
Totally.
are now kind of what I'm going into.
Yeah.
Just because it's like all new
Totally.
shit. I just got a pair of bright ass yellow and black Asics yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Super excited about
yeah.
them. And then what kind of rap fan are you?
I mean, my soul will always be like old school East Coast rap. You know, that's like that's like what I grew up on. You know, the first concert I ever went to was a Wu-Tang concert. I was 14. I saw a guy get stabbed in the neck.
Let's fucking protect your neck, bro.
I know, right? It's so fucking good. And so that's like, on some level, like that will always be the pinnacle for me, right? Is like that first kind of generation like of Wu-Tang, right? Like, you know, their first two records, and then the first generation of all their solo records. Mm-hmm. I think that was like, you know, and I mean, Ghostface is probably like objectively my favorite member of Wu-Tang. Not saying he's the best. He's just like stylistically my favorite. Right. He's made a bunch of bad records, honestly.
Right.
But like, man, like when he's at his best.
Bro, that whole you're the '96 era.
Yeah.
And right after that was the golden era that we both grew up in.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you remember? I'll never forget the first time I heard Too Short.
Oh, dude.
The first time I heard Too Short was what sold me on like, oh, I'm a fucking rap fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can listen to
this. Is this? Yeah.
I'll never forget my. At a young age, I wasn't supposed to have any of the CDs that had parental advisories on them. And I had my stack.
Your stack,
and I had them hidden under my waterbed. If that tells you how long ago it was. And I'll never forget, my little sister had just been born, and she like was still in a crib.
Yeah.
And those damn baby monitors.
Yeah.
And so my mom went to go get in the shower, and that was my time where I decided I put on either Doggy Style or not. It was either Dog Pound Dog Food or West Side Connection.
Yeah.
One of the two I put on.
Yeah.
And my mom heard that shit through the.
The baby monitor.
And I just remember coming to my room, and she's like, "Give me them now."
Yeah.
So I had to give them all over. She went and gave them to her students at college. Just gave them all away on me. But I was a hip hop head ever since.
Yeah, same, man. My first rap record was Doggy Style, where I was like, and I remember it was not the record; it was the music video. And I was like, "What is this?" You know, like I had heard the Chronic like already, right? But I was like, okay, cool, like whatever. But then like that first video, I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, you know, like I mean, I grew up in New Mexico, so like there was, I would say, a predilection towards West Coast rap out there. And so that was like my first like, okay, I'm gonna stop being a grunge kid and like dip my toe into this rap thing. So that it was so fast from like it was like. I was like, okay, Doggy Style is cool. Then I was like, okay, LL Cool J, and then it was Wu-Tang. It's like a super fast transition of like things that aren't really connected to one another to end up at like, okay, I'm a lifelong Wu-Tang fan.
Right.
And that was it. You know, I mean, obviously all the, you know, the generational stuff after that, you know, on the East Coast stuff with like, you know, like I mean, Biggie and Jay-Z and all that stuff was, you know, pretty obvious. I would say I was probably like too much of a Jay-Z apologist for too long. I was like, no, like the Blueprint 3 is good. You know, it's like, nah, it's fucking over. You know, like that shit.
Me and my buddy, we would get in the endless Nas versus Jay-Z debate and all that stuff. And I was just like, bro, I fuck with Jay-Z's music. It's not that I don't like him and everything, but every time he gets on a track with another MC, he gets ate up. Like in his battle, he got ate up. Like I feel like he's lost all of these. Like,
yes, I agree.
And I would argue that I would probably, even though I would put Nas ahead of him, I'd probably go towards Jay-Z's catalog more than I would.
He has a much better catalog.
Yeah.
And Nas is a much better rapper.
Right.
I think I think also Jay-Z has probably made like 3 of the best 25 5 to 35 rap albums ever made.
Yeah.
Whereas like Nas has, 1.5. Right.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty steep fall off after that, you know?
It's a rough go for Jay-Z right now, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no longer streaming. I gave it a pause.
I can't look at him the same way now.
Dude, right?
It's rough. It's we were talking a little bit before the podcast started, and it's just such a wild fucking time right now. But when we were speaking before, luckily I'm on the other side of social media where I'm worried about creating videos and doing all that, so I don't scroll much. But as soon as I start scrolling, bro, it's too much. Like it's too much negativity. It's too much craziness going on in the world, and I don't fucking. It's scary, dude.
I have to do this thing where like I have, and I'm in the process of it right now, like trying to like consciously reprogram my relationship with social media, which is to say it now exists purely for entertainment. And so like the things that I like and the things that I engage with, like I have unfollowed a lot of accounts. I only stop and pause on things that like will reinforce that aspect of the algorithm. And then I go and get my news from news outlets, and I read the newspaper, and I watch shows that take that seriously. Right. And I mean, not to say that like mainstream media is, I mean, the end all be all. There are plenty of credible things on the internet that like I'm sure are helpful for certain people. But what I've realized that if I allow that to be my relationship with my telephone, it becomes a really unhealthy relationship, and it sends me down a rabbit hole that is just reinforcing so much negativity.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like it used to be like, hey, this is where I talk to my friends, and sure, like I have to reply to emails on here sometimes, so that's kind of annoying. But like it should be a thing that like where you communicate with people. Yeah. And that communication is a net positive, right? So it's like if it's not that, strip it away. Yeah. Like I mean, as much as you can. It's not a perfect science. You can't get rid of all of it, but you can get rid of a lot of it. Right.
I started the podcast and started I Am Redemption, and so I quickly understood that your Instagram's your business card. You have to have somewhat of a following to be taken serious, and so I did a really hard push to grow it, to get it to what I felt was what I needed for a following. Yeah. And then ever since then, I've disconnected from my phone tremendously. And so people think I'm bad at my phone. Yeah. But I'm very good now at, like, when I get home, it goes and I put it in the bathroom on the charger. I leave it there for hours, and I'll go back and check it. And then what happens is I'll have this litany of notifications, and I'll go back and try to get back to the important ones. Yeah. But then a lot I don't end up getting back to, and it's just like, I have to have some type of boundary for for this stuff. But well,
it's also, I mean, like when you're an addict and an alcoholic, this is addictive. It is the new addiction for the world, right? It is. They want us there
all the time,
right? Our only power is to disengage from that and look up and see the world for what it is and see the beauty in what's in front of us, right? That is the thing that we do have control over, is to put it down.
I learned a very valuable lesson in all this, because as I was growing that, what truly mattered, somebody said something to me recently and put it a lot in perspective, and we were at the Austin Marathon Expo, and I made a joke and was like, I know I have a modest following, and they were like, wait a minute. They were like, Shawn, when you do something, people show up. There's people with far bigger followings than you that if they did something live, they're not going to get people to show up.
That's a really good point.
So I started seeing the value, and like, man, it's not necessarily like, you need your business card and all that, but it's more about having this human connection and building this community actually in person with people.
How engaging are you for real?
Right.
Right.
And the social media stuff and all that, like it's great to get my message out there and everything like that. And I hope, because I'm constantly, one thing I'm very proud of myself is I'm always trying to evolve. How can I make this better? How can I do this better? And when you start looking at the landscape of social media, like the things that get the most clicks and the most views and all that stuff is stuff that's divisive, stuff that's hot takes and all this shit.
That's what they tell you to do, right? Like there's now it's kind of the point where there's these fucking coaches on there that want you to pay them to tell you to do that.
Yeah.
God fucking bless.
I almost did it at one point.
Yeah, same.
Because you put so much time and so much effort into a video and it doesn't do anything. You're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And so like I've sat there and like really thought, it's like, all right, how do I want I Am Redemption to evolve as a podcast? Like, do I start doing more like hot takes and more what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
But what I'm really hoping and banking on, man, is at some point, I hit the point where it's like I can't digest this negativity so much all the time. Like, I need positive music. I need positive people. I need positive. So I'm hoping at some point the pendulum swings so far the one way that people will come back to, like, I need an inspirational story in my life. I need
all
some
we
uplifting
can do
shit.
is that. All we can do is that, right? Because otherwise, we're playing the fucking same game and stuck in the fucking rat race. You know, the world needs more people like you drawing that line and saying, no, I'm going to stand here and deliver this message and be a beacon in the fucking night, right? Good for you, man.
I mean, I've been going off field this whole time. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing the whole time, but I seem to have been making the right decisions. And I don't know, man. I put my faith in God and keep moving towards that 100%. Way, and good shit keeps happening.
That's all you can do.
Right. So what does life look like for you now?
Yeah. So now I have an 11-year-old son who's fucking incredible. I don't know how I got so lucky to have such a good kid.
Is he a hooper?
He is a hooper.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. And he's really getting into it now, which is super fun. He's 11. He's growing like a fucking string bean. He just made like the Dallas like select league up there. So that he lives with his mom during the week in Dallas. And I'm newly engaged. My partner Des, we've been together for almost 6 years now, which is crazy. We got engaged like a month ago. We own a business together, about to be 2 businesses. So we're super excited for that. You know, and after 2 years of owning a business together, if that doesn't break you up, I think you can make it through just about anything, you know.
Well, today was my wife's last day at work. She'll be coming on Monday morning, a full-time on I Am Redemption. So.
Bro, congrats!
Thank you. If you have any pointers, let me know.
I do.
Go ahead.
I do. And you guys probably all know this. So I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know already. But you know, I think it's really important to like have separate lanes. And those people, like, you are the decision maker in your lane, she is the decision maker in her lane, and you advise each other, of course, but it's like, you know, those are your lanes, right?
Yeah.
And also conversely, if it's not a hard yes for both of you, it's a hard no.
I like that.
You know, because like at the end of the day, you're both going to have to live with it, and you're both going to take it home.
Right. Yeah.
You know, last thing I'll say, and the greatest gift it's given us, right, is it forced faster conflict resolution. Because what you don't want to do the next day is show up to work with a fight hangover.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever was the problem today, one of two things has to happen tomorrow. Either it wasn't important enough to exist tomorrow, or it's so important it has to get resolved by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything else in between doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
I agree. The one good thing we've always been is like we've never gone to bed mad at each other. You know what I mean? We're pretty good about, especially me, like I want to nip that shit in the bud. What's the problem? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
She's the type that she kind of needs some space for a little bit and then comes back to it.
We have the exact same dynamic, yeah.
It's been funny though, the newly kind of venturing out into this, and you know, there was a time I was driving and I'm talking to her on the phone and I was like, hey, we meet every Sunday and talk about what the plans are for the week as far as with the business and all that. And I was like, could you, I asked her to write something down for me, and she was like, ah. And I was like, look, like every time I ask you to do something, it can't be, like we have to be able to separate the marriage conversation from the business conversation. I have to be able to ask you for something just like you have to be able to ask me for something. And it can't be scoffing at each other every time we do it. And also, like, you know, she has this 9 to 5 where she's working doing medical billing, and she can't fucking stand it. You know what I mean? It's a toxic work environment.
Totally.
It's all this stuff. And so a couple of days ago, I caught her and she's on the phone and she's talking to somebody else she works with, and it was, you know, it was all the problems of whatever's going on in that company right now. I was like, hey, you don't got to worry about that ever again. Yeah. Like, why is your mind even consumed with
Don't let it touch you.
No, you have 2 days left.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do, punch out, and let's go.
Yeah. Leave it in the rear view forever.
Right.
100%.
She was a part, she's very much behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so she pushes me out there to be the face and the talker and all that, which I'm down with.
Yeah.
And, but she came out and she stood with me all day at both expos, and I'm watching people come up and ask her what I Am Redemption is, and she's coming alive talking about it.
Love that.
And I like watched her kind of come into her own in that moment.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I Am Redemption was a point of contention for us because it was what was taking me away from her all the time. She was very proud of what I was doing, always supportive, but
time spent.
going out to California. I'm here. I got to go meet this guy. I got to do this. And it wasn't time for us. And so now she's bought in because she did the heavy lifting for it to become a nonprofit and all the computer work I would have never done.
Totally.
So we accent each other that well.
That's amazing.
But she's standing there, and we were, dude, it was really cool. And you're a runner, like, so you get it. And so we had 12 people running their first ever full and half marathons.
Amazing.
And then we had right around 75 people that were all volunteering for the marathon. And the high that the people that volunteered left with was higher than the people that had ran their first marathon.
Doesn't surprise me.
They were so excited. For days they're texting me.
That's so
just
cool,
from
man.
volunteering. They never knew Austin Marathon was so big. They didn't know the type of people that were out there. And I watched.
It's an incredible environment.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I watched her have that moment, and she's smiling, and I watched her talk in front of people, and I looked over at her, and I was like, hey, we could do this every day. You could do this with me every day. And she was so excited. And then Monday morning rolls around, and she's walking back, or she starts work at 5 a.m. and she's walking in her office all pissed off. Yeah. And they've been throughout my journey, they're in the process of right now of trying to turn the documentary into a movie. Mm-hmm. And so they're looking for they're talking with people about funding and all that kind of stuff. And so I had a chunk of money set aside that I was gonna, when it came time, I was gonna invest in that. Yeah. And I'm sitting there on that Monday morning watching her walk into the office miserable after this incredible weekend we just had. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, if I'm going to invest this money, why would I invest it in something I have no control over, where I can invest it in my wife and my household and literally get her over here and put a battery in our back to go? And so 100%. I walked in and I was like, babe, I want you to put in your 2 weeks. And, you know, we talked about it and all that. So come Monday morning, it's all systems go.
I love that, man.
I'm excited, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So you got you'd said something when you had first walked in, and you got sober when you were 24, but you had made mention of that you recently, like, you still needed a meeting. Yeah. And so being that far removed, people, I would imagine, would think like, oh, he doesn't still go to meetings or anything like that. What, if you don't mind talking about it, what were you going through in that moment? Why do you still draw on that as a tool?
So we're having a really contentious business situation right now where you know, we're really behind on a project, and it is due to a scope of work that we are not engaged in. Right? It's design, build, and all the consultants that the landlord engaged. Right? Okay. And so we got to a point where, like, that started to cost us real dollars. Right? And so we went to them and said, hey, like, we have now reached the point where this relationship is untenable for us, and we need reimbursement, you know? And, you know, that's been a back and forth for about a month now, which is its own set of frustrations, right? You know, but what I realized is that the anxiety that I was walking around with every day, the financial insecurity I was walking around with every day, and the lack of presentness that was causing was officially, like, kind of constant, you know? And then, I mean, the most obvious thing being the resentment that, you know, one can walk around with when you feel all those things and you feel that it's from an external source, right? By their decision making, right? And so I said, okay, I need a fucking meeting. So, you know, went to the meeting that I normally go to, or that, you know, I go to when I need a meeting. And of course it was a fourth step meeting, right? It's the exact thing I needed to do,
always
right?
Is.
Yeah.
Always is.
And so, you know, I walk in there and I'm like, I just laugh, you know, I say, you know, we're reading, it's a big book study group. And so we're just, you know, passing around reading. And then, you know, if what you read strikes you, you share afterwards, or if not, you pass, right? That type of deal. And, you know, it became incredibly apparent that, like, you know, I needed to, you know, once that meeting was done, I needed to go home and immediately do a fourth step, right? Because, you know, I said, okay, well, while I can objectively say that these feelings I'm having are the result of another person not showing up as I expected them to show up and not be the partners that I expected them to be, I placed trust in people that I had no experience with. And I had no fundamental reasons that were based in fact saying that these circumstances should be different than they are today, right? And so that's on me, right? You know, like that's my accountability. I trusted people that I had no previous professional context with, other than the fact that I liked them and thought they were nice people, right? And all that may or may not be true, but that doesn't really have any relation to their ability to complete a job on time and on budget, right? Those are two separate things. And so that kind of made me realize, like, okay, so the lesson here is that, you know, I will never again agree to be in any way financially on the hook for anything until all construction is done, right? And then cool, and then we can talk about moving in 90 days. Great, you know, it's all I need is 90 days, right? You know, really simple, and probably more like 40, right? But that was a really powerful lesson for me, because it taught me two things, right? I was like, okay, well, not the type of partners I thought they were, right? But also, I'm not always a decision maker I need to be, right? And I think it's really important when you're having a lot of resentment to say, how did I get myself here? What's my accountability in this, right? And it doesn't change or assuage or apologize for wrongdoing on the other side of the table, right? But it does create accountability as to why you're even at the table. You put yourself at that table. I put myself at that table, right? And I said, I'm gonna make these choices that got me here, right? I got myself here.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's good. A lot of people would a lot of people, especially, you know, business owner, all that, successful, all that, wouldn't humble themselves enough to say, like, I need a meeting. You know what I mean? And that would end up being what takes them back out.
Yeah, I mean, I realized, I was like, okay, well, I'm having people talk to me, and I'm not even hearing what they're saying, because all I'm doing is obsessing over this.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is fucking truly self-will fucking run riot right now. And so, like, stop, pause, shut it down, go fill my cup, go understand what my part in this is, hold that, right? Understand the mistake I've made to get us here, don't make it again, and go fix the problem. But fix it from a place of understanding and not from resentment.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Good shit. What would you say somebody's listening to this, they sat there and they heard some of your experience, your story, and they really identify with things you've been through because they're currently going through them? What would your advice for them be?
I think the choices that we all have, right, is that we get to choose what we do every day, right? And sometimes we feel like we don't have that choice. But you always have a choice in what you do every day. If you hate the relationship that you're in, or the job that you have, or what your day-to-day looks like, or you want to stop drinking, or like any number of things that feel like I don't like where I am, right? You do have the power to wake up tomorrow and change that, right? Whether it's going to a meeting, or quitting your job, or starting the project that you wanted to start forever, right? You know, all those things are within your power. What paralyzes us is that we're so afraid that we will not be perfect when we first start doing it. The point is not perfection, it's progress, right? There is never perfection. That is an illusion, right? I've been in the restaurant business for 25 years, and I make mistakes every day, right?
Yeah. The people, this is a constant theme in a lot of the conversations I've been having lately, because there's so many people that are like, oh, I'd love to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, fucking do it.
Do it.
Because they're always like, well, when I just need to get to the right place before I start. No, fuck that.
No.
Start doing
Today
that shit
is the right place.
now.
Today is the right place.
Right.
Yeah.
I
did a shitty 4-step yesterday, right?
Right.
But it's the 4-step that I needed to do that day.
Right.
Right? Like, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
There was a woman I was talking to yesterday, and it was a really, really cool conversation, and she's a, you know, beautiful girl. She's a fish. She loves fishing and all that stuff. And she made a joke about what she would call her YouTube channel. I'm like, yo, why aren't you doing that? Like, why aren't you? She's like, well, I don't even like taking pictures. And I was like, number one, anything you're picking out in a picture about yourself, nobody else sees. Like, you're going to quickly realize that with filming yourself and all that stuff. Nobody sees the shit that you're picking out.
Yeah.
But I was like, to sit there and watch her doing to be involved with a job that doesn't necessarily fulfill her or anything like that. And it's like, yo, literally, all you got to do is set up your fucking phone and go do what you love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go do what you love.
You're not even out there like trying to think of ideas to create content or anything. You just get to go fish.
Yeah.
And there's people that I promise you are going to watch that shit.
Yeah. And then, like, you'll figure out, you know, the tools are the thing you figure out along the way. Right. You're like, okay, well, I made these videos. how do I edit them in a way where it's like, this amount of time and it tells the story, right? And then you learn from there. You get inspiration from outside resource. You say, maybe I'll try this, maybe I'll try that, but like start.
Right.
Start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't paralyze yourself by thinking, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
The amount of people that tell me they need to get in shape before they come to my run group or come to the workout, it's like, yo, this is the place where you do that.
Yeah.
Just show up here.
100%.
Now
that is, I mean, when I started training for a marathon pretty much a year ago at this point, right? And I was almost 30 pounds heavier at that point. I wasn't chunky. I just focused on bodybuilding for 2 years because I had a lot of lower body injuries.
You were jacked, bro. You could say it.
And I started running, and I was like, oh fuck, because I used to be fast.
Yeah, bro. The same shit happened to me.
And I was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
So like I kind of like pushed through it for 6 months. I was still lifting heavy, And I just I was just like, something's got to give, right? And I was like, okay, well, what do I care about more right now? What's better for me? And I was like, it's probably better. So I actually, it's funny. I use Tim Duncan as my inspiration.
Okay.
Right, which is to say, like, once he got to a certain point in his career, he realized that he couldn't be as effective at the same weight. Right, so he had to get thinner to move the same way.
Right.
Right, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm in my early 40s. That's, probably true.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, let me just stop eating as much. Right, like let me not eat like a bodybuilder. Right, who's in their off season.
Yep.
And let me just eat like a runner.
Yeah.
Right. Let me like less protein, more carbs, fuel for energy, and then when I have the energy, I run longer and run faster, and then see what happens over time. And then 6 months later. Fucking 25 pounds down, and my mile time is almost 2 minutes a mile faster than it was a year ago.
Let's go.
Good
shit. I'm going through all that right now.
It's fun. Where are you trying to get to?
So I'm slimming down right now. I'm trying to cut down right now because, dude, for the past year, I haven't done one run in the past year that I've like enjoyed. It's just painful every time.
Dude, I know. Like your knees, your hips.
It's my ankles and my calves.
Yeah.
They'll tighten up immediately.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll run, but it's excruciating every time I do. Like I haven't got done with a run in a year where I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah.
And it's like I need to get back to that because that shit filled my cup. And
Totally.
I get something different from running than I do from the gym.
I'm the same way.
Now it's walking into the gym and I'm not trying to fucking get jacked the whole time. You know what I mean? Now it's just dude, early 40s, need to think about functional, want to be able to fucking sit down, stand up, like all that type of shit.
Well, I mean, when I saw you in Dallas, it was like, I think that's a pretty good acknowledgement of like what, training for something like that, like a high rocks, right, is like, it is a thing that forces you to make that choice, right? And it's like, you can maintain enough strength, right, if you're coming in strong, right? But for peak functionality as a runner, you have to give some of that up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like they at a certain age, they cannot coexist at peak levels, right? When you're fucking 27, 28, like I could probably have been 220 and run 530 miles. That is not the case anymore.
Right. I got very lucky when we did the high rocks in Dallas. My partner, shout out Cody. I'm sure he's listening to this, but Cody wasn't. We were good on the strength stuff, but it was Cody wasn't. You know what I mean? Cody wasn't down with the running stuff. He did incredible and all that, but I was able to kind of take the runs off and help motivate and all that. But the whole time I'm like, damn, dude, if I was trained up run wise, I would fucking crush this shit.
Yeah.
Because any of the sleds or any of that shit, I was good to go. But it was the run where I was like, man, if I could open up right now and just go,
I know,
I would be killing this shit.
Dude, I know it. Like we've been running like 5 days a week for the past like 3 months. And you just wake up every day. You're like, well, I know I'm running today, so am I also lifting today, or am I just running today?
Right.
It's just like, oh, but it just like so many things in life, right? You keep showing up, right? And just as it starts to feel like there is this monotony and lack of measurable performance, you have these breakthroughs.
Yeah, you have a jump.
And it's like, it's so rewarding even at this age to be like, oh, it's cool, my body can still do that, like not at the same speed that I could 10 years ago, right, but at faster than most people our age,
right. For sure.
And like I'm not racing to win anything. I'm racing to be really happy with the expectations I've set for myself.
Hell yeah.
Right. That's all life can be, is am I meeting or exceeding the expectations I've set for myself.
Agreed. 100%. So, favorite question to ask, especially to you because I know you're going to give me a good answer.
A lot of
Hypothetically speaking,
yeah,
you're walking out tonight.
Yeah.
UFC Championship of the World.
Okay.
What's your walkout song?
Oh gosh.
That one song that gets you fucking ready to go. A lot of pressure riding on this answer right now. Fellow hip hop head, what's he gonna bring?
It's pretty easy. It's actually pretty easy. It's The Champ by Ghostface.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good, solid choice. Can't
Yeah.
go wrong.
It's just a banger. You know, just like.
Did you go see Wu-Tang when they were at
I didn't.
Coda?
No. No, I didn't.
Really?
No.
Bro, did you hear about it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude, it was incredible. So it was amazing. When she would Wu-Tang, Busta, and Nas. Wu-Tang.
It's like my whole fucking childhood right there.
Bro, that's what I was so geeked to go. My wife went and she saw me in my glory. But
yeah.
Oddly enough, Busta stole the show.
I mean, honestly, he's such a showman.
Bro,
you know?
That's exactly what he is. Like, he got up on stage and him and, Spliff Star or
Yeah.
whoever his homeboy is.
Yeah.
Bro, they were just on another level of performance and everything like that.
Well, that's always been the hard part about rap live, is that like albums are great, but you go to a rap show and you're like,
right,
like, you know, like I'd rather be at a fucking Taylor Swift show. Like it'd
Yeah.
be a better fucking concert. You
Right.
know, like, you know.
You know who NF is?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, and I've told this story, but it was one of my first concerts in sobriety.
Yeah.
And
Those are
I'm like, yo, NF is coming. I'm gonna go see NF,
Yeah.
and my one buddy's like, bro, have fun with all the teeny boppers. And I'm like, what do you mean? No, NF is, dude, that dude can spit. Like,
Yeah.
he's good. We show up there, absolutely all teeny boppers.
Yeah.
But a couple cool things that happened from the show. Number one of the best live performances I've ever seen.
Hell yeah.
That dude is incredible.
Yeah.
Number two, awesome being at a show with all teeny boppers because nobody's drinking and acting stupid.
Yeah.
So
no one's getting stabbed in the neck.
That was great. Nobody stabbed in the neck. And then we were by far the biggest people in there.
Yeah.
So we had like everybody else is in stubs like this.
Yeah.
And we had a good like 8-foot radius around
Yeah.
us where we could just like
Hey,
spread
chill.
out.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, this is great.
This is
I don't
great.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Stubbs is a great venue too.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
We just saw, who did I see there? The Locks. There last.
Dude.
Bro, what are you doing? You gotta.
Dude, apparently nothing fucking fun. Jesus.
I'm gonna hit you up
Yeah,
next time.
please do.
Next
Yeah.
time we got
Yeah.
some good shit going.
For sure.
I'll never forget. And this will be my last music story, but Freddie Gibbs is one of my
Yeah.
favorite rappers, and so anytime he comes to Austin, I go see him.
Yeah.
And so it was him. It was Conway the Machine from
Yeah.
Griselda, and there was it was a younger guy. I think his name was Cousin Stiz, guy from Boston.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with his music, but
Yeah.
good. And where was I going? Oh, one of the things I can't stand about concerts is just everybody up with their fucking phone now.
Yeah.
And not one of those people is ever going to go back and watch that video of the
Dude.
fucking concert they were at through their phone. It's dumb. I did
It's-
it one time, never
It's
did
for
it
fucking
again.
clout, dude.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And I remember we're sitting there and everybody's got their phones up, and all of a sudden I see this huge glow out of the corner of my eye, and I look over and it's a fucking iPad going up, and he's fucking filming with an iPad. And so I remember, and it's as this dude Cousin Stiz is up
Yeah.
on stage, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking ruining this shit.
Yeah.
And then, or it was Benny the Butcher. It was not Conway the Machine. So
Got it.
Benny the Butcher comes out. The first beat that drops is Rubber Bands and Wait, and
Mm-hmm.
all at the same moment. Now Austin isn't. I don't think of Austin as like a big hip hop city.
No, same.
But there was like a hip hop moment.
Yeah.
Where it was like as soon as he came out and that beat dropped, every phone went down, and then every head started nodding
Hell
like this,
yeah.
and I was like, yo,
Yeah,
this
there we
is
go.
it
There
right
we
here.
go.
This is the vibe.
Yeah.
So it was good shit.
That's dope.
It was very good. I don't normally ask this, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And I want it rapid fire. So just the first 5 that come to your head.
Okay.
Your top 5 favorite rappers of all time. Not the greatest, not the best, but
Yeah.
your favorite, your top 5.
Sure.
Who are they?
Well, I've already mentioned Ghostface, so we'll throw it in there.
We going number 1 with Ghostface?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as, kind of personal favorite.
If I
Nas for sure.
If I threw an Action Bronson song in there, would you know the difference?
I would know that it's Action Bronson copying Ghostface.
Okay. All right.
He's honestly probably top 10 or 15 for me though. Like I really like 2 or 3 of Action's albums. Like
Action,
yeah, he's good. But I mean, obviously, like it's pretty fucking derivative.
Right.
You know, so Nas for sure.
Nas.
Rakim for sure.
Ooh, keeping it old school.
Yeah, you got to, man.
These are your favorites.
Favorites.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I fucking still listen to Rakim.
Okay.
I listen to a shocking amount of Public Enemy too.
Okay.
But not in my top 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is gonna be a fucking weird one.
Okay.
Because it's only like half of one album. But fucking Pharoah Monch. I fucking
Beast.
love fucking
Beast.
Pharoah Monch. He's a fucking animal. Have you listened to do you know who Black Milk is?
Of course.
So their collab on fucking Black Milk's album called
Okay.
Tronic. That song is like on every run playlist I ever make. Tronic is like the first fucking song.
Alright,
Like every half marathon I run, that's the first song on the fucking playlist.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
That's 4, right?
Yes.
Let's see, number 5. Jizza.
Okay. Keeping it Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Jizz is a good one. He's an unsung hero.
Yeah, I mean, only 3 records,
Yeah.
you know, 2 of which are good.
Yeah.
You know, but Liquid Swords, man, like every time I fucking go back to it, it's just like it's fucking incredible. I like some of like the peaks of RZA's solo work a little bit more. But
Really?
as far as like some like solo songs, right?
Okay.
But the album, they're just like, ugh,
Yeah.
you know. But just like the times where he's able to spit, and of course he does the beats, they're like, oh man, that shit's fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang's interesting.
Yeah.
Just their whole story, their whole everything, like
know.
how iconic they were,
Dude.
and just to get 9 dudes to come together and do that shit.
I mean, Raekwon's fucking incredible. They're all just like
Raekwon to me, that's probably him and Method would probably be my top 2.
I've never been a fucking meth guy. I don't know. Well, I've been a meth guy, but
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the Tikal, the first out, his first solo album,
Yeah.
was a banger all the way through.
Dude,
for me.
The amount of years that I fucking said Tykel, by the way, oh my fucking god.
That's hilarious.
And it's on the fucking record. He says it fucking Tikal, and I'm like,
Tikal.
I'm fucking out here calling it fucking Tykel for like probably 5 years.
That's hilarious.
Fucking embarrassing.
That's good.
I had to be corrected when I fucking went to fucking college. They were like, that's not how you fucking say that, right? I was like, what do you mean?
That's how I say it.
That's how I say it. Yeah. Anyways, what about you?
Top 5?
Yeah.
Or what do we? Let's see. Rapid fire top 5. I'm gonna go Freddie Gibbs.
Cool.
Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks didn't
Banks.
see it coming. Can spit for sure.
Dude, Lloyd Banks is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've listened to any of his more recent work.
I haven't actually.
Bro.
Honestly, man, fucking 50 might be in mind. I fucking love. I
Bro.
love it. I mean, there's only 2 good records though. I mean, really 1.5. But like, fucking Get Rich or Die Trying. Fuck, incredible to this day.
Bro, yeah, his music has made a resurgence for me. Just
Yeah,
because he's so
same.
relevant now. I've started
Same.
listening to some of his old shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I forgot what a
Dude, it was
beast he
so
was.
fucking good.
See, everybody thinks of Lloyd Banks of like, they don't. Number one, they haven't ever listened to all of Lloyd Banks' mixtapes.
Yeah.
He's the greatest mixtape rapper there is. And then
Better than Lil Wayne.
dude, I've come around to Wayne recently within
Yeah.
the past 5 years.
Well, the issue with
I didn't
Wayne
like
is that you
Wayne
have
for
to
a
come
long
around
time.
to his old stuff.
Right.
So it's like you're appreciating stuff that's 15, 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
tough. Yeah, I get that.
But dude, I'd put Lloyd Banks up against anybody.
Cool. Okay.
Anybody.
I'll have to give it a listen.
Bro, when you leave today, listen to the album Course to the Inevitable.
Okay.
It was like his comeback album.
Okay.
Like since he wasn't with G-Unit.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Okay, bet.
Incredible. How many was that?
3, I think, right?
3. Are you familiar with Dawn Tripp?
Yeah.
I'm a big Dawn
Okay,
Tripp
cool.
fan. He's definitely in my top 5. And then, did I say Yellow Wolf already?
No.
We'll throw One White Boy in there.
There
We'll
we
Yellow
go.
Wolf. I feel like that's a strong top.
White
that's
Boy
just
Summer.
That's just my top 5 favorite. That's
Yeah.
not the
Totally.
best or anything,
Yeah.
but that's probably the 5 who I listen to the most.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, if you would have talked to me 2 years ago, fucking Wayne would have for sure been in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just burnt myself out on it, but like I probably haven't put him on a playlist in 2 years, you know? I was such a fucking Wayne head for the longest time.
Did you hear that one song he did, Big Dogs with Benny the Butcher?
Yeah.
Bro, that
Yeah.
that song amazed me. And
that was a good album, honestly.
Yeah, that verse made me go back and start listening to
Oh,
old Wayne.
cool, yeah.
Because I was like, any dude this deep in the game that is still spitting to that level. Because usually guys get old and they're, you know what I mean? They give you some throwaway verse on a feature where it's like, oh, that right there.
No, Wayne's features are still fucking. I mean, even like the features that he does with like fucking like the Seeing Green verse that he did with fucking Nicki and Drake fucking like 5 years ago was like fucking incredible. Every bar was a triple entendre. Yeah, you know.
And that's what I love is bars and where I got to break it down and all that stuff. But with Wayne, I think the knock on him, at least in my world, for the longest time was he didn't write his own shit from everything I understood. Yeah. And so I don't know where we at on that.
Yeah, what are we doing?
If you look on his albums, it's never written by like Dwayne Carter.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole catalog, has this been him? Has this not been him? Because I used to hear Jay Mills wrote for him. I used to hear Gilly the Kid wrote for him. Yeah. Drake wrote for him. I've heard all this shit, but I don't know what to believe.
I don't either.
I don't know if can you have that much content, like that much?
Can you have that much and not have written it? That seems like so much fucking work to pay someone else to do. Especially all the fucking mixtapes and fucking features, you know, just like, you know. But again, like who fucking knows? I mean, shit. I mean, 50 used to be a fucking ghostwriter, so you know.
Which you don't ever hear about a lot of that shit. Dude, good conversation. I could talk sneakers and rap all day.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, dude, I hate to wrap it up, but we got to.
Totally.
I appreciate you for taking the time, bro. It's been a long time coming. It's an honor to sit down with you.
Likewise.
Anything cool we could do in the future, bro? Say the word. I'm fucking in.
Same. 100%.
Let's do it.
Cool.
The way we like to wrap up the show, if you take a look in your camera and throw out a couple I am statements to let the people know who you truly are.
I'm grateful to be here.